and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Cheryl Johnson of Cheryl's Catering, and today I'm going to show you how to make the world's best ever chocolate chip cookie. I found that whole wheat flour just tastes better. That's why this recipe is so good. It has molasses in it instead of brown sugar, so it's going to be a little bit more rich and delicious. You begin by taking your cup of butter out of the refrigerator to soften while you round up the rest of your ingredients. Place your softened butter in a mixing bowl along with 1½ cups of sugar. The sugar is what makes the cookie crisp. The softened butter will absorb the sugar better than cold butter, and it will make it more creamy and less gritty. You want to use real butter and not margarine. This recipe uses the finest of ingredients, and you can really taste it in the end result. This is what's known as creaming the butter and sugar together. The sugar will dissolve and the butter will get fluffy. Then you add 1 tablespoon of molasses. The molasses has more flavor than brown sugar, which is what most recipes use today. Be sure and get every drop of that yummy sticky molasses because that's what gives the cookies a richness and flavor. Then when you can't see the streaks of molasses anymore after mixing on a medium speed, it's time to add the 2 eggs. You stop the mixer first so in case a shell falls in you can get it right back out. The protein in the eggs bind the cookie together so it doesn't fall apart, and it also makes a nice chewy center in the middle. Beat the eggs till it's fluffy again, and then it's time to add our real vanilla extract, not artificial vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of the real deal. Vanilla extract almost has a perfumey kind of a flavor and an aftertaste when you eat the cookie. And now it's time to mix the dry ingredients together. I like to use whole wheat bread flour. It gives the cookie a nice nut-like flavor and makes for a very substantial cookie. You mix the 2½ cups of flour with a teaspoon of baking soda, which causes the cookie to expand a little bit, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt actually enhances the sweetness of the cookie. Mix them together in the measuring cup a little bit. You add the dry ingredients to what you call the wet ingredients and make sure that they're mixed until they're fully incorporated. You especially want the salt and the baking soda to be evenly distributed into the cookie dough. You want to make sure and scrape the sides and the bottom under the paddle of the bowl. Once you do that, then you can mix it just a little bit more. And then it's time to put in what I call the goodies. The goodies are going to include some chopped walnuts and chocolate chips. I like to put in about 1 cup of chopped walnuts. You can put in a little more if you really like a lot of nuts. It won't hurt. Also, you can put in more chocolate chips than what we recommend here if you really are a chocolate freak. So put in the walnuts and then also a 12-ounce bag of chocolate chips. Now make sure they're real chocolate chips and not those chocolate flavored chips. It's very important that we use the finest of ingredients for these cookies. That's what makes them the best ever. Make sure the nuts and chips are evenly distributed. After the mixing is completely finished, then you want to scrape the paddle clean of all that nice cookie dough goodness. Make sure and get it all off because that means more cookies for you. I like to use a double-walled air-cushioned baking sheet, and I spray it lightly with some vegetable spray to prevent the cookies from sticking, and then a 1-ounce ice cream scoop seems to be the perfect amount to make the perfect chocolate chip cookie. Leave plenty of room around them to bake as they spread out when they cook, and you don't want them to overlap. This recipe makes 2 dozen nice large cookies. Then we bake them at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. Don't overbake them or they will be dry. After they come out of the oven, you leave them sit on the pan for another 5 minutes to cool a little bit and to finish cooking the inside of the cookie. That way the outside will be crispy and the inside will be nice and chewy. This cookie is crispy on the outside and chewy and delicious on the inside. It's chocolatey and buttery, and it has a nut-like graham sort of a flavor because of the whole wheat flour. It's just delicious. Warm is best out of the oven, but they keep well. You can even freeze them for later. This is the cookie to have if you're thinking of a chocolate chip cookie. I recommend this recipe. Try it and you'll like it. Just about everyone loves a good chocolate chip cookie. If you know how to make these, you'll probably have lots of friends. Thanks for sharing my kitchen with me. I'm Cheryl Johnson of Cheryl's Catering. Happy baking!